don't know, like you found
Yeah,
it the
I
best,
just found
didn't you, Gora? You
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed. I think I enjoyed the personal. I didn't mind the personal story of the humans or the non from what I played, but I found the Chell one more exciting. I don't know what it is. I just think fighting, like the fact they have this constant battle going on between the ghosts, and it's kind of like a war they can't really win because ghosts don't die. They just
Yeah.
get delayed, and I really liked that. It was like like the intro thing that we were talking about, where everyone gets their like sort of intro thing with like the epic battle that kind of sets off the game. Yours
Yeah.
is basically like it's kind of almost a little bit hopeless because it's like we've got to fight off this army, push them back, and kill the leader, and that will delay them for like a couple of weeks, so we can hopefully rebuild our defenses.
And they're going on like, he's much stronger than we thought.
Yeah.
Pushing him back here, it'll delay him for weeks. What a victory! But really, they're screwed in the long run. There's not really much they can do about
That's
it.
from the personal story I played. I picked the Iron Legion, so I don't know how much this changes if you pick other legions. But the basic idea for the story I was playing was that my guy, because he's Iron Legion and he's an engineer, even though I was a Guardian, he'd built or he'd come up with a concept for a gun that destroys ghosts, and it was all about you trying to build this gun, but while the Flame Legion were trying to stop you from doing it because the ghosts are keeping the three legions busy. The more chance the Flame Legion have to just be dicks, basically.
Yeah. I did the Dust Legion or whatever it was, the Infiltrator ones.
Ash Legion.
And Ash Legion.
It's the Ash Legion. Yeah.
It was nothing like that. The Ash Legion, apparently, a fair bit of your Legion actually gets defeated in that battle with the original battle.
That happens with Iron Legion as well. Basically, what happens is at one point in your personal story at the start, you pick who your sparring partner is in your warband, and it's always the case for the chart starting thing that he is the only one who survives from your warband.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. Like, I didn't have that, but like I was the most competent person, so I got promoted to Legionnaire basically. So I still had a fair bit of the Ash Legion left, but what I was doing was, rather than focusing more on defeating the ghosts like you were doing, mine was actually as far as I got, it was the Fire Legion had actually infiltrated the main city, and they had spies, and you were tracking down these spies and rooting them out and getting rid of the Fire Legion presence in the main city.
That's pretty interesting.
So,
I might have to play like 3 different chars, just one for each legion, because I really do like the char.
Yeah, I did actually enjoy the personal story. To the extent I played it, but it's the rest of the zone that I didn't really like so much. It was far less. The other zones I played had different gimmicks with them. Like the Norm was very heavy. There was one where you actually transform into a cat and you run around hunting. You're paying your homage to the spirits a whole lot more. You're answering riddles, that sort of stuff, that I found very interesting.
Can I quickly say, speaking of the paying homage to the spirits, the freaking Spirit of the Wolf one is just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's really that's one of the prime examples of how the quantity of people just screwed everything up, because some of the mobs there were just scaling up so heavily. If you got hit, you just died, and you couldn't really do it. It was a war of attrition. You just had to keep pounding at it until you eventually managed to finish the event.
So the thing with the whole point of the Spirit of the Wolves is you're supposed to go to a wolf pack and like hunt with them, but like I don't know if it works properly. Like, it was really weird. You'd go to a pack and say like, and you'd bow to them and say, I'm going to hunt with you, and they'd accept you, and then nothing seemed to happen. And if you go to another wolf pack, they'd be like, oh, you're already hunting with this pack, and you'd just be like, it'd be very confusing.
Yeah, I think what was supposed to happen was you were supposed to get that wolf pack wolf pack with you, and it just didn't work.
But
Beta is
imagine the amount
beta.
of people who were there, and the amount of wolves that'd be in the area. It might cause some glitches. So I
Yeah,
think each wolf pack has 2 wolves in it.
yeah.
So there's like when I was doing that mission, well not mission but that event, there was about 30 or 40 people. So
Yeah.
double that. That's a lot of wolves.
True.
I mean, it's fine the way it was, but like I think it was quite heavily lent towards the fact that you should have wolves with you as well. So everything was scaled up a lot more than it should have been. Like that was a starting zone, and there were level 11 mobs running around, which were literally they did this spinning attack, which would just kill everyone that it hit. It would just one-shot them, and that to me seemed like when you're running around at like maximum of level 5 for that zone. Having
This
those
time zone
wolves-
was 1 to 15, not 1 to 5.
yeah, but like the very starting zone, that whole area is 1 to 15, but the very start zone, like the first thing you do when you come out of that. When you come out of the tutorial area, that's one of the first 4 events that are publicized to you that you're told that you should go and do. When there's level 11 mobs running around, that doesn't seem right. I think that must have been broken in some way. Because I know later on there were those mobs as well. So maybe it was literally just a matter of the game was spawning the wrong mobs. The wrong level of mobs. I don't know. But yeah.
We'll find out on release.
Yeah. But yeah, like that, it was. Even then, like, if it was working as intended, and you were getting those wolves, that'd be a matter of you've got these wolves following you around. That's a cool gimmick. The human starting zone, there were these quests. You had to put out fires with buckets of water. You had to go and gather up wood and that sort of stuff. The Char, it was just go and kill stuff over there. Go kill more stuff. There's some more stuff to kill over there. That's what I experienced from it.
That's not true though. Like, there's quite a few. The ones I did was
I suppose there's the one where you collect up all the gear and you throw the stuff around, but
I'm sorry, but the Char Zone wins because there's an event where you have to go and pick up unexploded mortar shells and throw them at people. That just beats everything.
That was probably the one which stuck out the most. You did also get to fire some cannons, but not really at anything.
Yeah. None of those mortar turrets on the foundry as well. You can fire those at enemies.
Yeah, they didn't, like, when I went there, there was nothing to shoot them at.
Yeah, there's an event. The second event is there's the first event where you have to like gather all the stuff and defend it a bit.
They attack
and then there's
yeah,
the Flame Legion attack.
Yeah, but I'd moved on by then and was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad zone. Like there was things about it like that which were interesting. I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones. I didn't find it as interesting after I played the other ones. I just enjoyed the sort of stuff you got to do with the other zones more than the Char starting one. I mean, it was fine. I did enjoy the personal story. What I played of it, like I say, it was an interesting storyline. Like all the personal storylines that I've done so far have been pretty good. They're all pretty unique in a way. It's based off.
No, I was really bored by the Non one. I'm sorry, I just was. I'm just gonna go out and say I just did not enjoy Non in any way, shape, or form.
Fair enough. It might have actually just been the choices you made at character creation, because I played 2 humans. I played one which was just a normal citizen, and my biggest regret was not recovering my sister's body or something, and one was a noble with this with a different regret as well. Like not discovering my parents or something, and that actually, those two choices, it wasn't just one of them that changed the personal story, it was actually both of them. So depending on those two choices you make, so like you say you've got the Char have what legion they are and what sparring partner they have. Both those choices actually make a difference to.
You also get with the Char, you also get who your father was. Like, was he like an honorless bastard, or was he like the best dude in his legion and shit?
Yeah, that sort of stuff. I mean, it all makes a difference. So maybe it was purely a matter of what personal choices you made at the start of the game, what changed the story.
I don't think it was just that. Like, that may have been part of it for the personal story of the Norn, but I just didn't really enjoy the starting zone as a zone.
Yeah. It's cool. It's very heavily based on what you enjoy. Like you say, you enjoyed running around, picking up stuff, blowing other stuff up. I enjoyed communing with the spirits and running around as a kitty cat eating stuff. They're very different. Like
you just want to be you just want to be a cat that's not a Char.
I see Lorna's lighting up and she just wants to scream, "Yay, kitties!" Don't you, Lorna?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of other MMOs, it'll be a matter of you pick a race and class, and doesn't matter. Everything's the same. Guild Wars, it's a matter of the races. Their starting zones are all very different. The choices you make the personal story very different. Like even like we were saying with the Char and the different legions, even that made the story very different. I'd not really compared them before that, and that's really interesting how different it is, because I'd not really looked into it. I didn't know sort of what differences it would actually make. But that does, to me, it sounds like everything you do, literally, in that character creation makes a big difference to your personal story.
At least it means then the game won't get stale just after you play the 5 races. You'll have to play each race multiple times to get every single event.
Yeah.
And every part of the story.
There's an extent
to which... It's interesting because, sorry, it's interesting to me because, like, the cynical part of me is, to make money off this game, ArenaNet don't care whether you... Because there's no sub fee. It's just you pay for the box, and that's it. And there's apparently going to be a microtransaction store. But basically, like, I assume like a good chunk of money will come from the box sales. So, like, it's better for ArenaNet if you just buy the game and then only play it for a couple of days. Because they just have your money and they don't need to, like, keep server upkeep for you. That's the cynical part of me, but I thought it was kind of funny that they put in all this replayability.
Yeah, I actually really like that, because it's a matter of they're making the game, although it's an MMO, although you have multiplayer stuff, you've got a strong personal story, so it competes storyline-wise with other games, other single-player games, which have a strong storyline-based thing. It's not anywhere near the same, because you have to do the other stuff in order to keep up with your personal story. Would be nice, maybe.
Oh,
if
that's
your
one thing that I found weird. I don't know if anyone else experienced this, but for me, every time it happened on every one of my characters. Even doing like the marked quests on the map, I'd end up like I'd always be like a level or 2 below my personal story, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Like I did all the quests and I'd still be like under-leveled.
You know what you mean?
So I don't exactly want to be going out grinding. Like, you don't need to go grinding as much as like say other MMOs and stuff, but it just
specifically Asian ones.
But it's just not my thing to want to have to grind my levels all the time. I'd rather be able to follow the storyline and just be at the right level for it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I understand they don't want people to just do each personal story mission one after the other and go all the way through like that. There needs to be a bit of gaps where you need to go and level and stuff, which I'm fine with. It just seemed like I'd do all this stuff and it'd still be like a level below where I needed to be, and I'd be like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
most of the time I just ended up attempting the personal story a level below it and getting my ass handed to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it would be quite nice maybe if they did just let you just do the personal story, but like you say, it's there needs to be something in between. But also, like you say, you're constantly below it. Because I found I completed the human start zone. I did literally everything in it, and that is labeled 1 to 17. I was level 13 by the time I'd done everything. I'd done all the publicized quests, like because you get, as well as the 3 things I listed before, like the 3 things you do, the skill challenges, zones, and waypoints. There's a bunch of hearts on the map which are just events,
quests.
Generic quests essentially that are always there, always doable, at least for the most part. There are ways those change. They're not always exactly the same. There are ways those change what you have to do, but those are always there, and there's the random events in between as well. I'd gone round, I'd explored everything, I'd done all those quests, and I was 4 levels below what you should be by the time you're done with that zone, and I wasn't neglecting to do the random events. I was there.
I feel like
actively, go for it.
No, I was saying I think it may be a beta. Like, thinking about it, I think it may be a beta thing. And I think it may be because of the way the random events work. I think the sheer amount, because either you're on the main server and there's millions of people everywhere, or you're in what's called the overflows, where there's not that many people. And I think that's screwing with the way the random events are starting. Like, they're either too many and they're all gone and you're not getting into them, or they're just not activating.
Yeah.
I remember at the Wolf one, I was stood around for like 10-15 minutes waiting for the event to activate because there was no one there.
Yeah.
They all rushed off to go fight some river drake. Like, literally everyone went in the middle of the challenge. It was like, oh, okay. So if this spawns, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Luckily it never spawned.
Yeah, it's weird because I wasn't neglecting to do all the random events. I wasn't just going, no. Every time I saw one, I'd go and do it. Every time there was a keep that needed defending, every time there was a keep that needed retaking, I'd go, I'd do there. I'd do it. But still, I was way behind what you should supposedly be when you're doing these things. And I don't... That needs tweaking, really. Like you say, it might be purely a matter of beta. Maybe the sheer quantity of people is draining the amount of XP you're getting, that sort of stuff, but I'm not sure. It just needs tweaking, really. I think it is beta, and you can't really complain about that sort of stuff because it's the sort of stuff I'm sure they'll fix. But it's just what I got from the game at the moment is just a bit. Yeah.
So that pretty much covers most of it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I was thinking that. And we have been rambling for an hour and a half.